You gave a long, exhausted sigh as you flung your backpack over your shoulders. It had been a long day of training, and you wanted nothing more than to go home and rest. Of course, you weren't exactly leaving without interruption. "Hey, listener." You cringed at the voice and sneered once your eyes met with the image of golden blonde hair paired with a zigzaggy bolt. The teen smirked at you with an obnoxious confidence that almost made your blood boil. "What is it, Kaminari?" You practically growled, though you knew exactly what he was going to say. Kaminari grinned and leaned on your desk with one hand, like he was some suave Casanova.
"You know, it is Friday. It'd be great to go out and enjoy ourselves,"
he said with a raise of his brows. Your brow twitched. "For the 10th time, I will not go out with you, Kaminari." Kaminari slumped in posture at your brash words, his ego clearly hurt.
"Aw, come on, listener. Just one date,"
he said with an irritatingly cute puppy dog face. Your glare got harder, but his face just got more and more adorable. Kaminari had been at this for weeks now. First, it was a cheesy compliment here and there.
"Dang, girl, are you the sun? 'Cause you're blinding me with your beauty right now."
Then there was the undesired physical contact.
"Hey, listener."
He drapes an arm over your shoulder.
"Did I ever tell you?" Then you elbowed him in the gut.
And finally, asking you out. The mix of exhaustion and annoyance turned into bitter anger. Your brows furrowed intensely. You didn't have time for Kaminari's games. You looked straight into his amber eyes with a look of pure anger, his expression shifting to fear at the sight of your menacing grimace. "I said no." You blinked and stomped to the door, your hands gripping your backpack so hard your knuckles were white. You grit your teeth as your walk pace increased. Feeling Kaminari's hurt gaze on you, you didn't mean to be harsh, you were just frustrated. You didn't mind Kaminari asking you out, but it was just the way he did it that annoyed you. You didn't need the showy suave act. If just once he would ask you like a normal, perfectly sane person, you would say yes. Then again, this was Kaminari, the boy with the eccentric personality and witty charm. Your internal conflict made you feel a deep pain in your chest, a swelling of anger and desperation that was ready to burst out of your body like a deadly explosion. You just wanted to leave. You just wanted to go home. The Monday that followed was strange. Kaminari didn't greet you with a compliment on your way in class. He didn't send you his usual flirty glances. He didn't even attempt to speak to you. For some reason, that made you anxious. Was Kaminari angry with you? No. This was good, right? He wasn't annoying like usual. It was like he was not even there. You stared at Kaminari as he packed up his belongings for the day, a look of numbness on his face. It had been 3 days. Had you really hurt him that badly? You bit your lip, an overwhelming feeling of guilt rushing over. Why did you have to be such a brat? Kaminari was a sweet person you knew, and you treated him like he was trash on the street. You had to do something. You couldn't bear this weight on your chest. With a shaky breath, you mustered all the courage in your body and made your way to Kaminari, who had just flung his bag over his shoulder. You brought your hand to his shoulder and gave it a nervous tap. Kaminari turned, his eyes widening a bit at your presence, though he didn't say anything. You swallowed, avoiding his gaze. "Kaminari, I need to talk to you." The blonde stood there for a moment, shuffling around nervously. "Okay." You quickly grasped his sleeve and dragged them all the way outside. into the side of the huge building. A perfect place for privacy. You let go of Kaminari's sleeve and promptly turned to face him. There was a tense silence. The air around you was filled with a thick layer of awkwardness. Your throat lumped up as you stood there, not sure what to say, but you spoke anyway. Kaminari, you started. You're annoying, obnoxious, crazy, and reckless. You finally looked into his eyes, not caring about the tears blurring your vision. But you're also the nicest, coolest, and most thoughtful person I've ever met. The boy's cheek flushed a pale pink, his eyes fluttering bashfully. You took a step closer and reached for the fabric of his sleeve just near his hand, making his cheeks even darker. I know I've been a terrible, selfish person to you, Kaminari, and I'm sorry. I just wasn't used to someone as, bold as you. You smiled shyly a bit. So, if it's okay with you, I'd like to go on that date now. Kaminari stared at you with a dumbfounded expression.
Really?
You blushed and nodded. The teen nearly burst into tears, his excitement ready to explode out of his body. Kaminari grinned widely and abruptly hugged you, his arms wrapping around you tightly. So, you forgive me? You said with the little breath you had. He backed up to meet your face again.
Are you kidding? Of course I do.
He smiled at you brightly.
I couldn't stay mad at my lovely son forever.
You rolled your eyes and playfully punched his gut. He laughed, but his expression soon faded to a surprisingly affectionate one. His blonde hair gently swayed in the wind, the sunlight making the spiky ends of his hair light up like tiny bolts of lightning. You couldn't help but blush at this. You tucked some of your hair behind your ear. Should we get going? Kaminari smirked, liking how his charm got you all flustered.
Yeah, I know the perfect place,
he said, holding his hand out invitingly. You reluctantly took hold and almost instantly felt your nervousness wash away. His hand was so warm, it made you feel safe. Your chest warmed as Kaminari led you off campus, a bright smile on his flushed lips. Seeing that wide smile of his made you realize that Kaminari's crazy personality was what made him so great. He could cheer you up when you're down, make you laugh, but still love you like a big cuddly teddy bear. He was perfect in every way. You just wished you had realized that sooner.